Hello and welcome back to Dr. Bob's Ideas for Facilitators. This time we're going to talk about that question that everybody who's new to training wants to know the answer to, and that is, what do you do with your hands when you talk? So I'm going to give you some ideas about that. Some people advise that you should hold your hands down by your side while you talk, and a lot of people get this sort of frozen dead arm position and walk around and talk like that as if their arms don't work anymore. But that isn't a good idea. You might want to say that by your side is a good natural returning position. Once you have moved or gestured or something like that, you can move back by your side. But you shouldn't keep your hands at your side all the time. That's unnatural. Some people like to put their hands in front of them. I do this sometimes when I talk. And there are other things you can do. For example, when you ask a question, you can put your hands in back of you to indicate that you're no longer going to be making a point. You're going to be waiting for an answer. And of course, a good thing to do is to gesture naturally. One of the two things you don't want to do. One is you don't want fake gestures. This is important. Okay, let us do that. And secondly, you don't want to have too much gesturing that makes it look like you're really being a cornball. I saw a video, we were reviewing training videos at one point, and the speaker gestured with every word. He was, "This is important for you to get. Importantly, important, important." And pretty much all you do is pay attention to the gestures and laugh at the guy, and you don't get the point that he's making. Another thing you can do is to hold an object. Well, maybe not that, but something like a marker. This should be a marker board marker, not a permanent marker. And that'll give you something natural to do with your hands. That's why people smoke and carry top hats and canes back in the old days when they're dancing around on the stage. It gives them something to do with their hands. So it's natural for you to hold something and talk, and it automatically allows you to position your hands in a natural, normal manner. Another thing you can do is to hold a clipboard. Some people like to have their notes on here and be able to read off their notes when they're talking. Now, a caution about a clipboard, there's a tendency to point with objects sometimes. Yes, you. And it's not a good idea to point with objects. And while we're wrapping this up and talking about pointing, it's not a good idea to point to people like that. It's better to use an open hand, yes, John, or a sort of sideways hand, yes, Jane, instead of saying Jane. Anyway, so that's a few ideas about what to do with your hands when you're talking. Natural gestures, not a bunch of weird things. Hold an object, put your hands behind you when you ask questions. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.